Okay, awesome. So it's recording. So we can start. We don't have much time, so let's make the best out of it and try to provide the attendees as much value as we can from our great speakers. So we have a couple of tech professionals here from BGC Engineering, and I will let one of our speakers talk about BGC later. But for now, let's start with introducing everyone. And meanwhile, I would love to know um, what made you interested in joining this workshop in the comments. So maybe if you're looking for a job, or maybe if you're looking for a career change, and if you're looking to get into tech, or if you're a student, just like put it there in the comments so we can know a bit about you. So for the start, my name is Abdullah, and I'm a GDG organizer and a technologist. So I organized GDG Cloud Fredericton, as you can see on my cool shirt. And I'm a technology in a lot of ways, but actually my full-time job and a lot of my career is not in tech. So currently I'm a full-time employment coach with the Multicultural Association here in this city, and then I'm a technology and marketing consultant. So I do a lot of the technology on the part-time. So we have Eldon. He's a software development manager at BGC. We have Marco, a software technical lead. We have Joseph, a UX and UI design lead, and then Prashida, where she's supposed to join us, hopefully, like let's in a bit. She's a UX and UI designer at BGC, and also she's a GDG organizer. So if you guys can briefly, let's say in 2 minutes, tell me about yourself and maybe a bit about your role. But we would also like to know what do you do outside work, because anyone can go to your LinkedIn and see kind of like about your work. So what do you do usually outside work, and how do you spend your time, and maybe what's some of your interests? So Eldon, let's start with you.
Sure, yeah. Well, thanks for having us here. I'm Eldon. I'm the software development manager here at BGC. And so at BGC, I joined BGC about 5 years ago, and at BGC, my biggest responsibility right now is about growing the team. We have a lot of demand from our clients and also from our internal team at BGC to grow our software products. So we need more people to help us do that. And then I also work with great people like Marco and Joseph here to who are really good leads on our team to help grow our development. I started my career back as a developer, and I progressed to be a team lead, a project manager, and now leading development. I'm really happy to be here. I guess outside of work, I'm really big into Netflix right now, as I'm sure a lot of people are. I also like to tinker around with smart home technologies. So I try to make my home smart so I can be lazy, and it will turn on and off the lights for me. That's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So Marco.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Marco Dios. I'm a software technical lead at BGC. I joined BGC around 7-8 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. My main role is I'm leading one of the teams that is in charge mostly for the map concept aspect with the interaction with the user and the map for one of the main solutions that we have at BGC. In terms of a little experience, I have around 17 years experience working on technology in multiple areas. At the same time, well, I probably could say I really have interested outside work is I love video games. I'm a big fan of sports, mostly soccer. Yeah, I'm born in Colombia. That means it's one of the main passion, and I love that part. And yeah, watching a lot of YouTube videos. I'm really big fan of just spend hours to get information not only about technology. I'm pretty much a big geek in terms related with technology and all this information.
Awesome. Thank you, Joseph.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joseph. I am our UI UX lead at BGC. I started in about April. and I've been in the industry of design for about 10 plus years. I've kind of worked on a wide range of different areas. I've worked in tech, I've worked in big tech like GoDaddy, I've worked in finance, a wide range of stuff. But my specialty kind of is software usually reaches a specific point during the product life cycle where you bring on a designer, where you know that you have a successful product and you want to start to tailor it more to scale up and to be able to sell to everybody. And so that's typically where I usually come in. Is I'm usually the first designer, and I kind of help build and shift the kind of design mentality into a user first mentality. So that's kind of where I am. Outside of work, I exactly like Marco just said, I really like to learn new stuff. I love YouTube. I think it's awesome to kind of just sit through, learn new things. You can just put on something in the background and learn it. I also love to travel, and I'm a big scuba diver as well too. That's basically me.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Prashida, welcome here. We're glad to have you eventually. So we're just doing a quick introduction, and everyone is basically saying what do they usually do outside work. So if you want to go ahead and give us some introduction.
Okay, yeah, thank you for inviting me. Sorry, I had trouble with my Chrome.
No worries.
Yeah, so I am a junior UX designer at BGC, and so outside of my work, so I like traveling and photography, and also like teaching. So like I usually like on my every weekend I spend some time doing some volunteer work to teach like people about like the UX designs or like career oriented stuff if they need any help. And also for me like another thing is, yeah, I spend a lot of time like spending on internet to learn like new things like and what's new coming up and like what's the current trend and like what's exciting in this. So yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Prashida. So again, we're happy to have you here. Awesome team. Um, let's talk a bit maybe about BGC. So Eldon, if you can tell us in like briefly in simple terms, what's BGC engineering, and why you believe it's successful.
So, BGC Engineering is a geological engineering applied earth sciences consulting company. So we help our clients deal with things that, like anything that the earth can do. So, that has a lot of impacts because if you build, let's say you build a highway or a road, or you build a bridge or a building, a house, like all of that is built on top of the earth. And the earth is actually constantly moving at a very, very slow pace, usually. But then it is constantly moving, and you can't stop it from moving. All you can really do is like, try to mitigate it and, kind of defend, protect around it. So our engineering team helps our clients like figure out is this like a good place to build whatever you're building, or if you've already built it, how can you make sure that the earth's geohazards don't impact it, or like what type of earth material do you use to best build something. So that's fundamentally what we do at BGC. And then we have a lot of different people who specialize in different disciplines to help our clients with that. So of course we have geological engineers, civil engineers, people dealing with like water systems, and then since we're here, we also have a very strong software development team because we really want to leverage the software technologies in order to build software applications that help our clients manage like all the vast amounts of data that they have, and that's why we're here today. And I guess like why we're successful, I believe like one of the biggest reasons is because we have this like one team mindset or culture or belief, and it has a wide range of like interpretations. But one thing is that our one team works together, like software works together with geological engineering to build this one system, compared to maybe some other companies who may be specializing more in software and just have a few like geological engineering consultants. We have like this one team kind of approach to things.
Great. And I think you're like over 500 employees now. Actually, you have, I think, a branch in Fredericton, New Brunswick, where I'm currently at, which is Great. Guys, I apologize if I sound on a rush a bit because we have like around 20 minutes left. So if you just feel like I'm trying to rush to the next person or like move things faster, that just me trying to make things on time. So, Marco, if you can tell us a bit about what is like working as an engineer as BGC, what would be like your day to day, let's say, work like for an engineer? What would be their day to day work would be like?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we could say just how it's working at VGC is a really day by day challenge. It's really nice to receive the engineer's idea when they pass us. You know, that's kind of dream idea. Okay, we would like to resolve something or do any new feature, and for us, it's just pretty much landing and make happen that dream reality challenge with technology. That's pretty much our day by day work. If I could describe the day by day, it's just, yeah, we started always with Scrum meetings, just something really quick about, hey, about the team, what are you doing yesterday, what are you going to concentrate today, what kind of blockers or problems, something that us immediately adapt as a team. Okay, we could help you. I have 2 hours. We are one of the major key linked with the one team is the communication. This is one of the strong points that we have. And the day by day, you try to help each other with specific problems, or we have some guidance. Sometimes, hey, I don't know how to resolve problems, or I have a code bug that I cannot just fix it right away. Can you take a look and see, maybe give me some ideas? That kind of communication makes us really strong as a team. And yeah, pretty much the day by day, we just concentrate, try to crack any issues that we found, create new features, and make it happen. Present it to the project owners and later to the clients, and that's pretty much our day by day.
Awesome. So Joe, again, like same maybe thing. If you can tell us a bit about what is like working as a UI and UX designer, and what would be a day-to-day like work of a designer like?
Sure. Great question. The real big thing about the UI UX role is that we kind of get to see a lot of what goes into the software. So we're not just there designing, but we're also sitting down with stakeholders. So we're sitting down with the people that are going to end up using the product to understand what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish. So in a given day, we might actually be chatting with a bunch of people. Like I could be sitting down talking to an engineer who's out in the field, whose job it is to observe and enter stuff into a Cambio into our software. And then later in the day, I could be sitting down with a senior stakeholder talking about a new feature, that we want to bring into Cambio. Or we can be sitting down with the developers, kind of understanding what the technology is that we're trying to build towards when we're designing something, and making sure that what we're designing will actually be able to carry through and be built. So it's a really wide ranging role of what we get to do, which is a lot of fun. You show up each day to work, and no day is usually ever the same. Yes, you'll meet with some of the same people. You might have, some of those starting meetings each day, but from there it kind of branches out. And each new project that you work on, you're kind of solving a new issue. So it's a lot of fun, especially if you really enjoy problem solving.
Great, thank you. So, Proshida, maybe you are part of the team now, and we know that the job market is not easy, especially now during COVID. So, in order to find a good job with a good company like BGC, you'll have to stand out probably. If you can tell us, how did you get the job? How did you stood up? How did you maybe prepare for the interview? And what was the process like?
Thanks. So yeah, it's kind of tough to like get job during the COVID time and the pandemic time, and obviously you need to have like a very like working portfolio, like to get some like hands-on work, not just like only the school project, at least like something beside the school projects. And when it comes to like in terms of the interview process or anything, like the designer's interview process, it also like kind of like, it's not just like one interview. There's like a multiple rounds of interview. There would be like a first round with the interviewer, then second with the hiring managers, and then there would be also like a portfolio presentation. And I guess the portfolio presentation, it depends on like the team to team and also like company to company, like how much time they would like to take. But it's usually like between like 1 to 2 hours of portfolio presentation. That's you need to present. And it's not like, so if we have like a website, so that's good, that's for portfolio to apply for the applications and to show it to someone. But when it comes to like portfolio presentations, it's not like that you're just showing a screen sharing the website and going through the website. It's actually like you need to prepare like either a keynote or a PowerPoint presentation, and within that short time, like you cannot cover everything obviously. So you need to figure out like what are the best projects you have. And not only that, you also need to like research about the company and the team, and also if you already know about something about the product that you'll be working on, you need to research about that, and then just like make an alignment between these two, like what are the projects you have done that at least like somehow related to like the company that you're applying for. So just try to make sure to add those in your portfolio, and not like adding like very from like A to Z everything about what you have in the website or in a case study and so that presentation. Just show like whatever like the most important part, like the most informative, whatever the impact, what is the problem, and how did you approach to solve that problem, and what was the impact after you solved that problem to that product. So I guess these are basically the main steps during the interview, because in there like it's only the chance like where you actually get the time to showcase yourself, your skill sets and your qualities. So I'd say like just make sure you best utilize this time to make you stand out among like any other people.
And being very proactive. Thank you very much. I guess that it sounds like it's not that easy, all the process, but it's a learning experience in itself, which is great. So, Eldon, for someone currently interested in joining your engineering team at BGC, I can see there are many openings at your company, which is great. So, if you can tell us a bit about the openings, and after someone join BGC, how much growth actually they can expect from within the company?
Yeah, so we are trying to grow really rapidly at BGC. Over the last year, we actually almost doubled in size in terms of our software development team, and we're saying that we'll grow by another like 15%. But honestly, like in the past few years, BGC has grown by like maybe closer to 20-25%. So a lot of job openings, as you can see. We're hiring for like junior, senior developers. So please check out our website at bgcengineering.ca, and then you'll hit our careers page. In terms of your career growth, um, you're really like it sounds kind of cliche, but you're limited by only your own personal desires. We like to give a lot of freedom to people. So if you have great ideas and you want to bring it to BGC and help us implement it, we're happy to let you do that. And by doing that, you'll get opportunities to like mentor other people and grow within the company. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities to grow with BGC.
Awesome, great, thank you. I think there's at least 20 openings, and not just for engineering and tech. There's things I think also on other parts. So guys, make sure to check it out. Marco, if you can tell us maybe an advice for people interested in working as an engineer or a developer at BGC, and what could be the interview process like, and how maybe the best way to prepare for that in order to make sure they have a good application and good interview.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Project already said more or less just we have like a 2-3 stages of the process of the interview, mostly because we want to be sure that whatever BGC provide to the new candidate is what your expectation can cover. We want to be sure that it's a win-win, that the expectation and the personality. That's why we're looking that when you go to this interview, first be yourself. Don't try to pretend or be yourself, because we are not only looking for an engineer part knowledge thing, it's just as a person too. We spend more time than rather than our family just on the office working, or right now just with this person. The idea is just that personality make match with the culture. Try to make the culture fit not only with the company ways, just with the team. We want to be sure that you can express yourself and grow, not only technically, just professional, obviously, but personally too. That's why these kind of interviews try to know each other. The first part is mostly just with the technical leads and the software developer, just to have a little chat. Hey, how are you? What kind of experience you have? What can you provide as a person and as a professional to the team, right? It's like a win-win there part. Obviously, then the second part is just a little more technical. That's why when we put this job offer, we try to have something like we're looking for. Let's say if we have someone with experience in .NET, just to give an example, obviously try to prepare a little bit with that kind of knowledge that we're looking, depending of the if we're looking for a junior, a senior, or intermediate developer, what kind of level we're looking for in terms of knowledge. But at the same time, this is not like a blocker for us, because if we can see you like, okay, maybe you don't are expert on that specific technology, but you look and present like you can learn this really easy and express yourself, right? Just, okay, this is a great engineer that could help us to raise the bar to the team. And it's really easy and faster to learn that kind of things. That's why we're looking not only the knowledge that you have, it's just you as a professional, as a person, how you can grow. And yeah, that's my only advice. Build yourself, try to prepare and enjoy that moment, because the interviews are a great moment to know other people, what kind of other technology. Maybe if you don't know, but you don't know for the next one interview process, what you can learn maybe to prepare for that future interview too.
Definitely. Prepare well, but be yourself as well in the same time. That's great to know. So, Joe and Proshita, you guys more on the art part. You're more of an artist, designer. So, what would be, let's say, your advice for someone who's currently like planning to join the team as a designer? And Joe, maybe let's start with you. If you can tell us like a bit about uh, maybe like Prashia gave like a little bit about the portfolio, but what would make the ideal candidate? Because like anyone can go on Google and look up like for the design or like a UX or UI interview. But in from your perspective, what do you think an ideal candidate will be on your team is like as a designer?
Great question. So typically the way that I look at it is when you look at the UX and design team, we're typically there to kind of showcase what we do, and we work in a lot of different roles. And so one of the biggest opportunities for you to showcase that in an interview is your portfolio. Mainly because I can guarantee you, as a UX lead, as somebody that's hiring people in the UX community, one of the first things that we look at is your portfolio. Yes, your resume is very important, but your portfolio is that first chance that we get an idea of not just how you design, but how you present yourself. Because really, when you think about it, like that is your first chance to show us your design skills, not in a context where somebody has told you, hey, I want you to design this for me to get across a goal. So it's your first chance for you to actually get through some of your personality, show what you can do. And that's really important. What's even more important as well is something that I very much believe in, which is I don't think we have time to get into it, but if you want to Google it, there's the idea of a T-shaped employee. And so what does that mean? It basically means that you have a very wide range of skills, but in one specific thing, you have a lot of knowledge in. And that's the way that I look at the UX role is, especially in design, you do know how to do design, but typically when we're looking for something, we're looking for design in something else. So a perfect example is, do I know design and market research? Am I able to sit down and do user testing with people? Can I sit down in a process like this and understand and chat with somebody what they're trying to accomplish and turn that into a design? And that's where your portfolio can really shine, where you can do things like case studies, where if you break down a present something that you did and talk through some of that mentality, talk about, well, this is why I designed it this way. I designed it this way because I know the user's thinking this and this is their motivation. And that's your chance to shine through and show exactly why you can do that role a lot better than somebody else. And that's typically the way that we hire somebody in UX role is, you're going to be a designer, but you might specialize in something like research. So yes, you can jump in and you can do the other parts of the job, but if a research comes up where we need to, jump in and understand something, that's going to be your go-to. That's going to be what you're doing. And so that's your opportunity when you're interviewing when you're giving people your portfolio is to show that value add. What else can you bring to the team? Because like I said, we're usually a new team. We're usually a small team. And that's what we focus on. So the more cross-functional that we can be, the better you are at T-shape, and the more broad you are, the better it is. But that also actually helps the team as well too. I've been lucky enough that I've been in an environment like that since I first got out of university. And I've been able to acquire new ideas and new techniques from those people in that same sort of a team environment, where I understand a lot more of the coding part. And that's one of the big things that as a UX designer you need to understand, is how to code. And that's something that people don't often tell you, is you don't need to be able to sit down and code something, but you need to understand how it works on the back end. And again, in your portfolios where you can show that, is if you're building something that you don't understand, if you're designing something and you don't understand how it can be built on the back end, there's a disconnect there. So it's very important to do that. And those are kind of where you can shine and focus your portfolio on to get that message across.
Great.
Hopefully that answered it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you very much. I hear a lot of that as being curious, like, and guys, I'm telling you, like, hiring managers love curious people. So make sure you show that, just like Joe said, like, you are involved in different things. Prashida, you talked a bit about the portfolio. Maybe what would be some things you think a designer can stand out, or what would be your advice for them outside a portfolio? Like, you are a very active person, so like, what would be some of the things they can be involved in outside a portfolio and preparation for the interview and the application?
Uh, I would say the same thing like that Joe mentioned, like the curiosity to learn new steps. And it's not only by learning, it's also like exploration and analysis. Because as a designer, we need to like continuously learn new stuff. It's not like that, yeah, we have the some different types of rules. I need to follow that all the time. And sometimes we also need to learn something that beyond the design, like the research or like something about programming or coding or new language, like to like understand the design better. So if we don't enjoy learning new steps, or if we don't enjoy to like crack something like that, yeah, why I cannot make it, like let's just explore it or crack it how I can it, like if you don't have that kind of curiosity, then these design jobs like that might feel boring like at some points, because you need to like continuously do like new steps, learn and explore. So you have to have that kind of like mindset that, yeah, whatever comes up, you're ready to learn and you're ready to like explore that. So that's the main thing I would say like for designers need most.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We have like around 10 minutes left. So maybe I will leave the last 5 minutes for questions. And I see there's already some good questions there. So, guys, anyone who's attending this, if you have any question, put it there. Even if you didn't have time to cover it, we can still like, and by the way, you can connect, like, everyone here is nice. And so take advantage of connecting with people. So if you have any questions, again, you can post it. You can connect with me and anyone other from the team. I'll post now the links for each one of us on the chat if you want to add people on LinkedIn. And don't forget, like, usually connecting with people is one of the most important things to find a good job. So take advantage of it. Maybe the question would be, the last question would be, what would be like a practical call to action for an attendee who is, okay, they heard good stuff about BGC, they're looking for a job, they want to get into the field, all the fields you guys come from and you explained. So what would be a call to action they can do right away after this event, or this weekend maybe, if they were your mentee, or if they were your student? What would be a call to action practical? And you would tell them, go right away, do it now. So let's, again, Eldon, we can start with you.
I think what Joseph said about like a design portfolio, like, it applies to software developers too. So definitely, like, make sure your projects are on GitHub. Make sure those projects are clean and neat, because we will look at your code. If there's any sort of like live demo that you can set up, like, find some way to like, have a little website that we can like go in and play around and see how much you actually did. Check out our website and apply for the jobs, and make sure to put the links to GitHub in your portfolio.
Awesome, thank you, Marco.
Just to follow the same thing, obviously the portfolio is really important, but put it like a right example, just but we like to look, at least, let's say we're looking for a full stack, right? Developer. If you can have a portfolio, an example, a live demo that you can, have the backend, the database, a backend created by yourself and a front end, even this is a simple, but with explaining a specific a functional example is really great because you can show us, okay, I'm create this, I've designed this, and we can start making questions like, why you designed this? What was your main concept? What was your idea? Why you choose that technology? This kind of thing that show us your interest and your mindset, pretty much how you process this and try to resolve problems with technology. That's a great example, right? But if you are more to the front end part, I don't know, you choose a tool like Angular or React to create some front end page. Okay, let's try how you create that front end page. What kind of parts, where you divide this in specific components. This kind of things just show us a lot rather than just make question directly technical, because right now we know that the knowledge that you have, you can apply, it's already functional with some specific example. That's really important about the portfolio or previous experience, work experience that you already have, that you can include it there.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you. Joe?
Yeah, definitely. Again, kind of pushing through all that stuff with the portfolio. I think the big thing, though, to take from this is we gave everybody a lot of advice here for how to kind of put together your portfolio, your resume and stuff. I'd say the very first thing you should do is for the weekend, take that, integrate that into some stuff that you're doing. And then I think Prachetta just drop that link into chat. Make sure you hit that up on Monday or after you've made those edits and send us a resume. Because like we said, we're looking for people. And honestly, right now, this is only going to get worse in the tech world where there is going to start to be a shortage of workers everywhere. So kind of getting into some of that stuff and adding it into your portfolio is going to be really helpful, because get in there now, like get this job now, apply, like think through what you can do to stand out. And we've kind of given you some ideas. So do that to sell yourself is really the big thing. Remember, it's you that we're hiring. It's not just you're a coder, you're just a designer. We're hiring you because of what you can do and what you bring to the table.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Prashida?
Yeah, so I would say that even if you want to be a designer or software engineer, it's just for everyone. Like, just at first, like, try to fill out, like, just do the fill in the gap. So that means, like, so just figure out, like, what are the requirements for the position that you want to apply, and what is that you don't know yet, and just like start figuring out how you can make those work, how you can learn those, and like try to find how you can take actions to make yourself like prepare for all of those requirements that the position is required.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I'm hearing kind of like from everyone, kind of like you are guys self-aware about what you want and what you're trying to do, and that's very important. I think especially for the younger people who are attending. Everyone here, like as Prashida, she's a great employee, but also she's a very active and GD organizer, and everyone here is a lead, right? The reason why they're a manager and the reason why because they know what they want and they work on themselves. So make sure you stay curious, make sure you stay passionate. Everyone here, they're passionate about what they do, and that's like a very big thing. So let's see, maybe like another couple of minutes to see. So we have a question from Benjamin. What first summer job would you recommend for a first year university student in software engineering? Does anyone feel like they want to jump in quickly, like give a comment on that question?
What was that question again? Oh,
So,
there it
yeah,
is.
what's the first summer job? Yeah, you recommend.
Yeah, so definitely check out your university's like co-op job portal, or like any other type of like co-op job postings, and one advice I would say is like if you really believe you will be a software developer and not a QA tester or something in the future, still don't shy away from the QA testing jobs, because like I really believe the really strong developers have a very good QA testing background. So get that experience too. University is a good time to like branch out and explore all different avenues.
Awesome, great, thank you. Let's maybe see, like come on, guys, take advantage of this. You can ask anything you want. We have a couple of minutes left, so go for it. Even if there's a certain position there, like now you can see in the openings, you can even ask a question about that. It could be about anything within BGC or anything that has to do with like the tech world and the tech career world.
While we're seeing if there are more, can I add to that last question as well too?
Definitely, yeah.
I would say the big thing isn't to like what you're looking for, what you recommend. My big thing is I'd recommend just doing one, because I think I definitely did a internship, and the big thing that I realized is that's when I actually figured out what I wanted to do in the industry and understand what the industry is like. It's a very different thing to be sitting in the classroom and learning stuff, but it's a different thing to be able to actually get into the environment and understand and see what's going on. Just because it's in something like QA doesn't mean that's where you're going to stay, but that's where you kind of get an idea into it and you can start to understand a little bit more what you want to do. And then when you come back to school, that's where you can start to take some of those classes with that idea of that T-shaped recruiter, where you can say, you know what I know is in the industry people need is this skill. And you can take that class and you can learn that. And it's hugely beneficial for your career. I cannot recommend taking an internship enough, and paid internship as well, I will say.
Definitely. So there's maybe I want one of you guys to. I probably can give some comment on how to get into Google, but you guys probably have good. But let me just cover quickly. Like I'll answer. Getting into tech doesn't involve being a computer science major. Definitely, you don't have to. I know a lot of people who didn't even go to university, and they're amazing programmers, amazing designers. So yes, we're not anymore in the world where you have to have a certain box in order to do a certain thing. So does anyone feel like how to get into Google for internship is something they can give a good insight on?
To be honest, it's that right school, to be blunt. Google is one of those places that just hires from the right school. Like they go around to recruiters and they hire at the right place. So that being said, that doesn't mean that you can't get in. Like there are definitely ways to do it. It's to get involved in the community, like events like this. Like you can come in, you can be a panelist, you can help organize it, you can get stuff where that's where you kind of get to know people in Google. But again, Google is kind of one of those crazy examples where you're basically like saying, if I want to become an actor, like how do I go out and become, John Travolta overnight, or how to become Tom Cruise in a week from that? Like it's not gonna, you kind of need to plan and get there.
Exactly. Yeah. I like Google, Amazon, Facebook, a lot of these big tech companies, they do, especially I would say for your fresh graduates, they would look for someone coming from like a really good school and they done maybe a good grades and a lot of involvement in their community. But again, like me, Prashida, and a lot of other people who are part of the Google developers group and part of like a lot of other initiatives with Google, and even people who are like working as senior engineers, they didn't get into that from being in a good school. They just did that because they prove themselves, right? They work hard on themselves and they show they have certain talent. Or so like if you believe you have that, then you can definitely make it one time. I'm in first year of my college. What should I learn? Does anyone feel they have a good insight for that? I'm in my first year. Sunil is in his first
sorry,
year.
what's the question? I didn't hear.
So Sunil is in his first year of college. What should they focus on? Like I think Sunil is probably he want to be a developer. So he's asking front end, back end, or generally like what would advice you give to a first year student?
Well, my first advice is always try to, obviously, similar that Joseph said, try to deepen everything, right? Try to learn right now in the beginning, test, be a sponge, absorb everything, try to learn all those areas, because that's when you identify what exactly you like, right? Maybe you are more like front end, maybe you like back end, maybe you like more, I don't know, databases or network, or you like more the management projects, right? Just these kind of things that the only way that you can identify that is just because you experience that part, and that's our only recommendation. But I want to give you some example that we have we have several cases that previous co-ops that passed terms at PGC. Right now that I have some LinkedIn connections. One of them are working on Microsoft. One of the previous co-op terms is working at Amazon too, and one of them on Google that I know just quickly. That means just because the program that we passed to the co-ops is just pretty much, we don't have side projects. You're working on actual projects that is a real experience for you to identify what kind of career you want to follow later when you finish your college. And that's my only advice, is just be a sponge and learn everything. Don't be afraid to learn. I understand.
Definitely. And Sunil looks like someone who's a sponge. He's already first year curious. He's asking questions. So I'm pretty sure you guys all agree that he looks like he's going on the right path. So Eldon, thank you for your comment. And we're done. So now we can go back to the networking and the main stage. Thank you guys very much. Eldon, Marco, Joseph, Prashida, from deep of my heart, thank you very much. That was amazing. I learned from listening to you. So hopefully we can see you. We look forward to see you again in another panel very soon. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.